All right, everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Conversations in Agave. I'm Susan Koss with Mezcalistas. I always need to remember to introduce myself for people who might be listening to this recording afterward. I'm very excited to be talking to Leon Lory Langle today. He has a long and storied history in the world of Mezcal in Oaxaca. I met you years ago dancing away at Cafe Central when you were DJing there. And then also at the same time, you were behind the bar at the Los Amantes Mezcaleria. And you were always a fountain of information. And I learned so much from you over the years. And probably the most important thing I learned from you, I will never forget this night, when I went into Los Amantes and you were there and it was relatively quiet. And I was like, oh my God, I had the worst mezcal today. And you were like, Susan, there's no such thing as a bad mezcal. It's just a mezcal that you don't like. And I have always carried those words with me to remind myself, you know, that it's very true. So with that, welcome to the show. You're talking to us from Oaxaca. And yeah, I mean, I'm just curious, how did you find yourself getting into the world of mezcal? Like what landed you there?
It's really funny. It's really funny because there's a cool story or a different story from everybody of how they know the mezcal or how they get inside of the mezcal. And the truth is that here in Oaxaca, my first met with the mezcal were a small tiny bottle. Then we bought from the guy from the store next to my house, and we didn't even know from where it was. We just know that it was mezcal, and that's it. And they sell it us in a small bottle of soda. That's it, and that was the closest thing that I get from mezcal. Then later, I get an opportunity from Yadira Castañeda and Guillermo Holguín. They invited me to a project that they got that it's called Mezcal Los Amantes, and they got a tiny room in a few steps from Santo Domingo Church in the center of Oaxaca, and I didn't know anything about mezcal. Trust me, not not information at all. I just knew that it was made from a plant, and that's it. So there I met the producer, this guy that it's called Eric Hernandez. He has Tlacolula Destilería Tlacolula, and he told me the first things about the mezcal, the process, and where was the factory, and the starting things to run the place. And the place it was to get to the people tastings of the mezcal and selling the bottles. Later, Guillermo, he has this idea of become the mezcaleria, a place where the people can get in it and have an experience. So he also thought that was a cool idea to get to become this place like a tiny room to get the mezcales of tiny producers, different places of Oaxaca, and get really small batches and really different in between them. So the thing that we and it stays the same: run tastings, give the people the information of the process, and try to take them to the palenques with the explanation that we get, and that's the start. That's the start. Later in the mezcaleria, I run the tastings in the noon. Well, not in noon, in the afternoon, at 7 p.m. and the start stops about 9. And later there was a guy Steele's there, Zenon, the guy with the guitar.
Yeah.
Beautiful man, beautiful soul. And by the end, he was the soul of the mezcaleria because he started playing. People were drinking, chatting. That's it. That's it. And it's beautiful place, beautiful way of introducing to the people, to everyone that gets there, the mezcal. And I try to share information with them. and they got a lot of questions. I tried to speak with the producers, to speak with Guillermo and all his knowledge that he has of the mezcal, and that's how I started with the mezcal. Learning from the producers, learning from Guillermo, learning from different places, visiting palenques. That's the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Los Amantes was always such a special place, especially in those early years.
Hmm.
And because you never knew who was going to show up there,
Yeah.
I mean, it's tiny for those of you who have never been there, tiny, tiny, tiny space.
Yeah.
And especially later on at night, it was like they would limit how many people could be inside. And there was always like people waiting to get in.
Hmm.
And, it was fun. It really felt like, you were part of something. And I will never forget the night that I was in there, and Ruben Abaran, the lead singer with Café Tacuba, a
Yep.
band that I love,
Yep.
was in there. And all of a sudden I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe it's him. And I, like on shaking legs went over to talk to him.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, what was really interesting to me when Los Amantes opened, there weren't that many mezcalerias in
Hmm.
Oaxaca at that time.
Hmm.
And Quiche had opened
Yeah.
around the same
Which were
time.
open.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And what I loved about like these two places was that, both were started pretty much by artists.
Yeah.
Guillermo is an artist.
Yeah.
Felix, and that whole group that he worked with, they
Hmm.
were in art school.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just is to see what came out of art and
Hmm.
mezcal. And then at the same time, you had Jonathan Barbieri with Pierre Almas, who
Yeah.
an artist also, Ron
Yeah.
Cooper,
Ron
an
Cooper
artist
and El Mati.
also, I mean,
Yeah.
just to have that tie
Hmm.
so close together. I mean, and you were there, you were part of the music scene, and, DJing and playing music. Why do you think
Well, I
there was,
was I was in the DJ area. I never played music in the Café Central. I
oh,
just love
really?
to be in there because this is something really magical about Central. The DJ, it's a magnificent guy, but he was doing his work. People show up with him. We share some speeches. He was working, but the reason it's that the DJ was not that known in the Café Central
Mhm.
because sometimes I'm not sure. I'm probably wondering, but he didn't want that kind of attention. He
Uh-huh.
just wanted that the people get fun, have fun, enjoy the things that he were doing. But I got to be honest, I kind of live up there. I
All
love
this
to
time
be
I thought that
up
you
there.
were the one playing,
No,
but
please.
oh my
I
gosh.
wish. I
Oh,
wish because Central has the best music in Oaxaca scene. It was the best place and totally different. It was totally different. It was an environment. It was a different thing,
yeah.
different thing. And I think that the environment and the aura that was created in the Café Central was really related to the DJ and the kind of music that they got there, and the shows and the images, and also the I don't know if you got these small cards
Mm,
that it's from the bands.
uh-huh.
There's people that collect them
Yeah.
because it was beautiful made, beautiful different art. So that's the magic of Casa Central. But yeah, I never played there. So sorry, I
That's
never
so
mentioned it
funny.
before. But
That's
I
so
I,
funny.
I live there. I love to go to the Café Central. I work there
Mhm.
during the nights, but when I have the time, I just jump into the DJ cabin and spend time with the DJ. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Cafe Central was also a Guillermo Olguin
Guillermo Holguín, yeah,
project.
yeah,
And what I loved so much about it was it was a cross section of everybody. There
yeah,
were old people, there were young people, there were foreigners, there were locals. It was like there were gay people, there were straight people, and the music always was incredible.
yeah,
And then there were films, and there were all
yeah,
sorts of other things going on. And then there was a mezcal bar
yeah,
that was there,
yeah.
and I know that Sosima kind of got her start, like coming through and selling like small, the small production stuff that she had from her family.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to see how people were able to grow out of that family into, other sorts of projects. It was a very sad day
Yeah.
when Cafe Central closed. And
It was beautiful. I mean, Guillermo, it's Guillermo's idea. Guillermo always thought in having this place that was multicultural and this thing that you will never know who is there. And by the end of the time, it didn't matter. Just everybody was having fun. So, and it works. It totally worked. It's a beautiful place. Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. I remember there was one evening where there was a concert out at the old train station when they used to have concerts there on the tracks. And there was a band from Macedonia and then a band from the Mixteca.
Yeah.
And they kind of battled each other. And it was crazy to hear these sounds that were so similar.
Yeah.
And yet, so from completely different cultures.
Yeah.
And then the party just kind of continued to Central, and, the music went on until forever with the bands playing with each other against one another. But, it just was a beautiful place to see that type of interaction, happen.
It was a really, 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 really good work. Actually, all the group of Guillermo was really talented and capable guys. No, I mean Yadira and everybody in the project of the La Barra and all the stuff. It's Oscar and there's a bunch of people working there. So I think that's the magic. That was magic, and it was really, really cool to be there. Yeah.
What was the transition like to go from, all right, this is fun, we're all having a good time, to the slow realization of, oh, this mezcal thing, it's actually a business. And, and to have that business side come into it. I mean, because everybody's a group of artists, everybody's, a group of bohemians, and boom, this falls into your lap. So how did that feel?
I think that by the end, they all know what they were getting to. I mean, starting a brand, trying to get it to the States or different places, or selling it in Mexico City. This thing, it's a business model by the end. I don't think that was like, this is money maker and we can go there. No, I mean, they knew what they were doing. I think that everything from different brands goes well, like Del Maguey. Ron has really, really clear his idea. He knows really, really good what he's doing. I mean, until today, he's the CEO. I mean, anything that happens with Del Maguey, he has the last word. So that's cool. That's cool still, because he protects from a huge, huge monster of distribution of alcohol in the world. He decided to protect all the producers. And he demands that all the productions remains the same. So I think that's the example. That's the example for everybody, And later, the different ways of sharing the mezcales or getting the mezcales or managing the brands. I think that one of the most beautiful is in situ with Ulises. He has the biggest collection of mezcales in Oaxaca, probably in Mexico, and I think that in the world. He has a really, really beautiful collection with access of tastings and in a really tiny space. He's exporting right now, and he has Farolito. It's going good, doing amazing, as far as I know. And I think that I prefer that model to other models, but by the end, there's a bunch of distributors. There's a bunch of distributors, people with money, people with an intention, people that wants to be in the business, in the market. But I don't know. I mean, there's different strategies. There's different ways of facing the the mezcal. Uh, there's a lot of people that think that making cocktails, I'm not against them. I just think that they got to know a little bit better what they are drinking before put it in the cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point of view. By the end, in the States, I totally understand that you got a huge culture of cocktail make and cocktail process and with the spirits. But uh, I think that with the mezcal, they got to take it a little bit slowly. Sweet a little bit slower. Uh, but there's this part of making mezcal sometimes with agaves that takes about 20 to 25 years to be processed, waiting until the ground and making it into a cocktail. I have a lot of problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever personally witnessed somebody making a cocktail with a tepestate, but if I did, I would be like, "What are you doing? Do you have any understanding?"
I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that because I do that a lot, and that happens a lot here in Oaxaca. Happens.
Yeah.
I saw people making cocktails with tobasiche, with tepestate, with mexicano, and it's like, seriously, there's no need. There's no need. The mezcal itself, it's a beautiful expression of flavors and tastings, and take it slowly. All the education that we were giving, and it's like gone. It's 2 ounces, and in the cocktail, it is like, come on, man, come on. I stopped. Trust me, I stopped telling the people that don't do that because they're gonna do it anyway.
I mean that's the really hard thing, and I think that those of us who are in the side of mezcal education, trying to figure out how to talk to people about that, without shaming them, without making them feel bad, or it's like it's
yeah,
really
exactly.
hard.
I think that the best way it's only the education, and that's the best way. You gotta provide to provide to the consumer the most information that you can, so they can choose to drink it as if the mezcal, with a glass of water, with something that cleans a little bit. If you're in a tasting, that's it, and explain them that the mezcal it's a spiritual drink. It's not like a beer. It's not like a tequila. It's upper, not a tequila in percent of alcohol. So that's it. That's it. It's the best way to teach the people how to get with the mezcal, because once that you're drunk with mezcal, it's really, really, really hard to go back. There's no go back. But once that you're drunk at the mezcal, that's it. You got to stop. You got to drink a lot of water and try to get a little bit conscious. And I said a little bit because it's not that
easy. It's very true. Patricia, who's on the call, brings up a good point that the good thing about cocktails are that they are a gateway for people to discover mezcal. And it's but I like the idea of using it as that, where it's like the opportunity to say, yeah, this is a mezcal cocktail. It's made with, one type of agave, usually espadín. Now you're seeing more cupriata being used. And by the way, you should try this on the side so you can taste it separately, so that people can see the difference. It's a hard thing. And I go back and forth where it's just like, I'm not a big cocktail drinker, but man, oh man, do I love those mezcal Negronis. Like I can,
Yeah, I mean, by the end, there's a lot of cocktails that you can tell the difference. You can separate all the things that it's in the middle. But sometimes there's not a cocktail, the things that they are giving to you and doesn't taste like nothing.
Yeah.
And the mezcal, it's there like an alcohol per se. That's it. So that's why I said I don't like a lot the cocktails. I don't think that that's the way, but it's okay. And here I go again. I know that you in the States are got a huge culture of cocktails,
Yeah.
and you got a bunch of people that it's making incredible things. I have experience from the visits from the different brands from that they bring people or mixologists from the States to make some things here in Oaxaca, but that makes sense because
Hmm.
all the mixologists go to the places, taste the mezcal of the that they're gonna use, and then they go to the local markets and get things that they probably can make or mix it with the mezcal that they're gonna make.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But getting a cocktail from a juice box and ice and something else, I
It
don't
could
think
be,
that that's the way to introduce the mezcal.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's, I mean, it is a challenge on doing that, but it's like, I see good bartenders, like I see good chefs, it's
Exactly.
like really
Exactly.
understanding the flavor of what you're working with and being able
Exactly.
to, enhance that flavor. And not everybody is meant to be a bartender or mixologist, just like not everybody is meant to be a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. That's why I'm alcoholic then.
that's why I'm on the other side of the bar these days. I can tell you how to make a drink, just don't ask me to make the drink.
Exactly.
But yeah. But I mean, it's like I mean, the boom that has happened within mezcal is
Hmm.
pretty incredible. Because it's like we can go back to those days of 2008, 2009. Where it's like, as you were saying, we didn't know what we were drinking. We'd get some mezcal. It's like, this is mezcal. It tastes delicious. All of that. Um, and then it grew and it
Hmm.
grew. I mean, you interact with a lot of producers. Like, what do they think
Hmm.
of, all of this that is happening with the category?
I think that there's two sides. There's the side of the producer that has access to somebody that export a product or they got verbal contracts or different forms. Uh, there's people that they own their own brand and they hire people to promote and getting to the different places that they want to go. One of the examples that I got is by hand. It's Alberto Morales from Oaxaca and Javier from Javis, Graciel Angeles from Real Minero, and I think that they got really clear what they wanted to do or where they supposed to go. And but there's also these tiny producers that they make like 200 liters a month probably, and there's also people that they don't have access to agaves like the guy that you were talking in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and they got to buy agaves from that probably are ready,
Yeah.
and you don't know how they're gonna be. So I think that there's these two sides. There's people that it's going really good, really well, and they are making some progress. I mean, right now, I think that the best examples of people that is making good stuffs, it's Danzantes, with
Mm-hmm.
that it's Danzantes with his collection, and they also work with this group of people from Agaves Espadines from Alipuz.
Mm-hmm.
So they involve with the small communities. This same thing happens with Agave de Cortés, that it's Holgorio, the whole collection that they got, and they also got Nuestra Soledad.
Mm-hmm.
And we can speak from different brands and different methods and different places. I mean, there's a bunch of mezcalerias. There's Cortijo. There's Mezcaloteca that they're working with a bunch of the producers also, Quish of course, and everybody's trying to do their own by their ways, by their different in
Mm-hmm.
different matters. But the change, the change. I hope be wrong, but I don't want to be tequilized
Yeah.
like tequila. It's happening. It's happening in Oaxaca. It's not a secret. Everybody knows it. You go to the Mezcal regions and you see they are growing only espadin fields. There's a bunch. Right now, there's projects like I don't know. They just clean the field and they put a bunch of agaves because they got a bunch of production or demand. I don't know. But it's also this other side, and it's a breath. There's a bunch of people working here in Mexico, and they are trying to make an agro autosufficient programs.
Hmm.
That it's teaching to the communities how not to be so aggressive during the process of taking mezcal in the fields and all that stuff. I think that one of them is Proyecto Milpa. It's
Uh-huh.
beautiful, 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 with a bunch of people that it's investigators and agronomists and chemicals and
And
people that it's really
anthropologists too.
concerned. Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
anthropologists,
really concerned about what is
sociologists. Yeah.
happening. Yeah, about how
Um,
what is happening with the communities, and they got local meetings and all the stuff. I think that that's one of the biggest projects. And there's also Proyecto Lam from Real Minero. And this Proyecto Lam, it's the collection of seeds. It's the planting agaves and this model that I love. That it's the agave campesino. The
mhm.
agave campesino, it's yes, you got land, but you don't gonna make only agaves. You gotta mix the plantation. It's with corn and beans and calabaza and all the stuff. So good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's I think that those projects got to be reproduced because there's a bunch of things that I it's I don't know. I got mixed emotions with this because I'm working in this area. I'm trying to take the people to know the process of the mezcal and visit the palenques, but sometimes I don't have the agenda to take them to small palenques
Mhm.
and they saw all the process because sometimes in the small places there's they are not working or it's only cooking or there's fermenting. So I got to take them to places that they are constantly working. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm taking it to any place. No, I
Right.
know where to take them, and I work really good with them. Actually, they are my friends. I can tell, or I hope that they feel it this way, that they are my friends, and I try to create an experience. So that's the kind of things that we got to do, and but yeah, I got total mixed feelings about the boom of the mezcal because yes, I want to. Everybody knows and everybody tastes the mezcal, and I would love to be in different places and speak with a lot of people and try to make them understand or feeling the same way that I
Mhm.
feel when I drink mezcal, when I talk with a producer, when I saw the difference. This is, but there's also the other side. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of
I mean, there
yeah.
are those moments like when I've been in Oaxaca the past few years where it's like, huh, I think I priced myself out of the market. I don't know how
Hmm.
much longer I'm going to be able to afford to come to Oaxaca. And
Exactly.
I say that knowing that, you know, I have a blog and I do these events that have very much promoted
Hmm.
the mezcal scene in Oaxaca, you know,
Hmm.
Oaxaca itself. But I want to go back to the how agave is being planted because for me, I see these, you know, the giant fields with nothing but agave, and I think, God, here is an opportunity for companies to work with organizations that are focused on reintroducing heirloom corn varieties into, you know, into communities again, because so many of them, you know, started to disappear because
Hmm.
of trade and everything.
Hmm.
And, you know, it's like, and the opportunity of how you can bring those things together so that people are growing corn and agave, and there can be, you know, and things can happen with heirloom corn in these practices. It's better for the soil, it's better for everyone, you know. So it's you know, how to, it's, you know, it's just like how you take the idea of the milpa on a larger scale, and what are the different organizations, you know, you can work with. But you know, or how you can combine, now that there's a demand for corn whiskey.
There's a bunch, actually. There's a bunch of people right now that it's working with corn, and they are making aguardiente. One of them is Tosba, and you know these guys like Elisandro and Edgar and Daniel, and it's corn, and they are producing actually they got a beautiful new brand that I know by the fact that is in the States. Beautiful, like aguardiente, delicious, and the
That's the
experience
Ducka
of seeing
Bend?
that it's the what?
The Ducka Bend? Is that
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I have the opportunity of tasting in the place with Edgar, that is the producer. It's incredible. Go to to Nashiroak. It's incredible. It's a beautiful place. For me, I will stop the living there. And this is caña, you know, like this is sugar canyon. But I think that the best way of avoiding that the soil gets like rest 7 years with agaves only, is the mix the mix cultivation. That's the only way. I because that way you avoid the herbicides and the chemicals, because you will getting the field working every 6 months. You will get it, people going into the fields, cleaning the agave fields, and also making the uh, planting planting like corn or beans or different things, and also the soils gets repaired, and there's not only like a lost land. I mean, there's not that everybody leaves the agave plants in 7 years and they don't care. No, they go every time, and they clean their fields and all that stuff. But I think that the best way is it's combine this kind of ways. I think that that's the best way. That's the I really feel it. I really feel it that that's the best way. Probably for them it's not the same, but I will hope that this will reply in all different places.
Well, how do you think, you know, there's a lot of talk about the traditional mezcal, multisibir. And traditional mezcal, you know, to clarify it, we're not just talking about a process in making it, because there are plenty of brands that are still doing a traditional process, but like that, you know, the concept of gusto histórico, you know, that's the small batch. How does that end up surviving in a world that is, you know, demanding more volume, and not thinking about, you know, these little.
I think that we gotta sensibilize the importers from the different places where you're gonna take your mezcal out. I think that that's the big talk. The demand is gonna be there.
By adding, by having people, like, you know, go to other areas, like other states in Durango or Michoacan, to explore other areas to find mezcal. Yeah,
Exactly. They gotta understand that it's that the mezcal is like a single malt. It's unique, it's precious, and gotta be available. Really, really expensive from the people that has the tradition, small batches, and gets their title. You know, because it's not gonna be good enough to say all the mezcal is artisanal and it's traditional, and because that's the way it is. we remain with the taona, and we smash it by hand, and we distill on clay pots. And now we are in this part, so we can sell it expensive. No, 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 no. You got to have tradition. You got to have history. You got to have uh, the historical taste that is losing. Trust me, Susan, it's losing. We are losing it. You, I remember getting into places, and the producers were sitting, and they were just drinking sippet mezcal from the different producers of different areas. There was just the jars there, and they pick some mezcal from random jar. They try it and they say, huh, this is from Don Gregorio, and it's good. And this is from this guy. Ah, lovely. Ah, this is from this guy. It's okay, but it's not that okay. And that was the kind of joke that they
Mhm.
make with each other. But they taste the mezcal and they knew from whom was made, who made it. And that is totally lost. I think it's lost. It's gone. The ship is gone. Because sometimes you can recognize mezcales from areas. Like you say, this is from Miahuatlán, this is from Mejutla, this is from Matatlan, this is from Sola de Vega, this is from San Luis del Rio, because has some remainings in there. But most of the brands, they got they do a search into the place that they're gonna finally sell, and they do a market about what the people want, what the people drink, and then they evaluate
Mhm.
what percent of alcohol is gonna be, what should be in there, like some flourish taste, uh, minty smell. I mean, the mezcal is what it is. And if the people that get involved and want to be in the mezcal goes to this part because they were amazed of what they drink, they got to respect that the mezcal is that. And it's only, and the thing that you try happens only once, and you will never try it before, because
Mhm.
you will never try it again also, because that production has to start 7 years of history of a plant in the field, and later it's the whole process of making the mezcal, all the process, cooking, smashing, ferment, and
Yeah.
so it's it's all the time. I don't know if you remember it when I talk about this in Amantes. It's this thing that you're drinking. It's not going to be the same. All the process, all the product that you get from now, it's totally different, because there's different ways, different years of sunshine, different years of raining, different years of a different kind of plant, because it's not the same plant. Even if you thought that it's the same plant, well, it's not, because there's a bunch of different variables that happens in the fields, that probably the bats mixed the different in the different flowers, and they pollinize differently, and it's going to change. It's a world. It's a totally world that it's that happens in that you don't get aware that happens
Mhm.
before you drink the mezcal. Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it is very true that um, each batch is a finite batch, and much like with wine,
Mhm.
that it's like there's a year attached to it, like the reasons why people want, oh my god, that 1983 bottle of Bordeaux was incredible for all of this. And
Yeah,
you
with the
know in
difference that the difference that the plant that they got to make wine, it's one
one year.
plant that grows that stays alive like 100 years.
Yeah,
The agave plant is 7 years, dies, that's it.
that's it, it's done.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's done.
Well,
Yeah. So that's a kind of difference. I'm not saying no, well, wine. No, 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 no. It's a little bit different, and it happens because of this. The the
yep.
the, the lifetime of the plant, of the agave plant, it's The shorter is 7 years. The longest can take 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you talk to wine people about mezcal, like they get it, like right away. It's just like, oh, okay, I understand the story. And, which is completely different than when you're ironically talking to tequila people, where it's like, yeah, this is it's an agave distillate. And the tequila people are like, I do not understand mezcal at all.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to walk them through it because, it's they're so wildly different. Whereas I always find, so the wine drinkers and then Scotch and whiskey drinkers and cognac drinkers, like they too kind of understand a little bit more when you start talking about mezcal, that they're the flavors that can be related to. There's a process, there's all of that. So it has been, it's my own education over the past, 8 years since we first launched Mezcalistas. I always say every time I go to Mexico, I learn at least 3 new things. Like to ever think that I'm going to ever know it all is like totally impossible. And, and that's why it's so beautiful and fun to talk about and to drink and learn more. I mean, I've always held a glass is half full, a positive outlook on where the market is going, in that there's room for everybody within the market, but it's up to us consumers to buy those beautiful, small production bottles. But one thing that I have noticed over the years is how much of the product is leaving Mexico and how less and less is staying in the places where it's made. And the people, I mean, it's expensive to drink mezcal in Oaxaca now. It's not inexpensive,
Yeah, right now mezcal is for the people that can afford it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, what's your sense from people there, other Oaxacans who are seeing this happen? Like, I mean, there's tax reasons why so much of it is exported to other markets, because taxes paid on those bottles are pretty extensive, can be almost 70%.
Yeah, 72.
By the time you add everything in. So what's the, like, how are people feeling of seeing their cultural product?
That's a hard one, because you still, here in Oaxaca, you can still get access to mezcales, that different mezcales, and you can go to the producers. You can have access to the producers, and you still are able to get some good mezcal. By the end, there's not that hard to get different mezcales. I think that till we got the producers that they are making their mezcal, and they got good productions, we're gonna be able to have that access to those. The danger is having this crescent demand that is happening right now, and that these small producers disappear, because by the end, that's the tequilization problem that I was talking about earlier. The big brands is gonna buy the mezcal from the small producers, and they're gonna mix it, and they're gonna blend it, and they're gonna say this is it, and goes there. And that happens right now, and I know by a fact that this happens. They and it's because sometimes the small producers, they don't have the market or the window to sell the mezcal, or there's some, I don't know. There's many factors that provokes this. Uh, but you go to places, and you sit and you ask for mezcal, and it's not gonna be under 100 pesos.
Mm.
it's upper than 100 pesos, then I remember that I poured three mezcales for 100 pesos in Amantes right
I
now.
remember, I know, I remember those days too. I mean, but to put it in perspective, like 100 pesos
Yeah, and
is,
there's a bunch of people talking about the mezcal, and they learned only the the dialogue, and they say a lot of things. There's a lot of people that it's really prepared to make their work. I gotta admit it, and I know it. There's a bunch of people that they know what they're doing, but the most they
mm.
just blah 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 blah. This is mezcal. That's it, and it's like, come on, put in a little bit of energy, man. Don't repeat, you know. It's like that, and it's the famous mm, the mezcalier. Why you try? Oh, I'm just looking at the chat, and you're right, at mezcalier. Come on.
Mezcal, yeah. It's, and there is, and there have been a couple of certification programs that people could go through. It's an interesting thing. I mean, like for me, it's hard, because I always want, especially in the market here, for people
Mhm,
to understand why mezcal is expensive.
mhm.
It is a handmade product, that you have to pay the people who are making it a fair thing. So should I get upset when I'm in Oaxaca that it costs as much as it does there now, which is still way less than what it costs in the United States? But at
Yeah.
the same time, I know what the minimum wage is
Mhm,
in Mexico. And
mhm.
I know the huge, 100 pesos for a mezcal is a lot of money
And
for
that's the cheapest
somebody,
ones, huh? Those are the
yeah,
cheapest ones. And
those are the,
and I gotta be honest. I hope that gets expensive. I really hope,
you want
because
it in Oaxaca, you want it to get more
yeah,
expensive? Uh-huh.
yeah, because that's gonna be the part of the what do you want to drink. You want to drink a good mezcal. This is the cost. But the thing is that you go to a bar, and there's 400 conejo. There's I mean, it's outside. It's these brands that you say, come on, why are you drinking these ones? But I mean, they they invest a lot of money in advertising and publicity and all that stuff. So it's okay. I mean, that's the way that they are in the market, and it's better that they are there, because they become a reference, and they open a lot of they open a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities to the others, and it's okay. I'm not saying that they are the devil, not at all, not at all,
Well, it's like
but
how I feel about Casamigos, where it's
exactly.
like I was so happy when I tasted it and it wasn't terrible. It was just like, oh, thank God. If somebody drinks this, then they're going to
Mhm.
say, oh, this is mezcal. Like, that's actually pretty good. I think I want to try some other stuff.
Exactly,
But yeah.
exactly. And it's like Gabriel is saying, like, only if you pay to the right people. Yeah, I mean, and that's the work that we got to do. People like you, people like Anna, people like there's a bunch of people that we are really working with, and we taking care and we love what we do. We love the mezcales that we have. We love this diffusion, this this tradition, and that's our work. We gotta get to the people. We gotta run a lot of tastings. We gotta run a lot of visits to palenques with the people that contact us, and I think that that's the work that we gotta do, because sometimes the brands, they got their ambassadors, and they know well how to get the mezcales or the different things into the markets, into the places that they want to get, and it's okay. But sometimes I think that we are here for something, and I want to do this difference, and I want to be there for the people that is interested in having a good time, in knowing a little bit. And I will be happy if I can work with different brands, and I can talk to them, and I can share the knowledge and the mezcal to the people that gets in touch. I mean, that's our work. I would
Mhm.
love to be around the world talking about this kind of stuff, but I will pay more attention to the people or the producers that they really need it the most. Not because they are, oh, poor fella, la, la. No, 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 no. I will work with the guys that they are accepting, and they are working with tradition. They are sharing this history, and they want to keep control over his culture, of his history, of his taste. Those the ones, those are the ones that we got to work with more. It's a double shaped blade, because
Yeah.
can happen what the things happened with some producer and some brand and some stuffs. It's that's why I work with them, I talk with them, and I say, this is what I think, this is what I feel. Be careful with the people that gets too close to you.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I will say that, I definitely have been pleased to see that there's far more awareness and knowledge with the different producers
Mm-hmm.
about being more hesitant in how they work with, outsiders. Outsiders being anyone from outside Oaxaca.
Even Mexico.
They, yeah, I mean, other Mexicans, they're not, we all know what, people are Oaxacan first and they're Mexican second.
Mm-hmm.
It's but it's that there's more understanding, there's more business knowledge that producers have, so that they are able to plan a little bit more what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have one last thing, and then we're going to turn it over to people for Q&A. But one of the things that strikes me is with the demand for product in the United States, and people trying to find local markets, are we creating a system in which a lot of the small producers, because of various factors, won't certify their mezcal? They
Mm-hmm.
will have the destilados de agave,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what will be sold in the local market,
Mm-hmm.
because that is what people could afford, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I mean, that's the thing that's interesting to me. Are we going to see those two, a split like that happen? um, I don't.
uh, I don't I don't have a problem with the Consejo Regulador. I think that it's an institution that it's there because they want to be there, and they manage to get there, and they certify the product, and they provide a lot of service, and it's recognized all over the world with the different exporters and importers and all that stuff. If you if they do a great marketing, because they say if you saw this hologram, it's a good mezcal. Okay, what happened? There's a problem with the Mexican deal. There's a problem. It's a total copy of the tequila origin denomination, and right now only the people that is certified can call it mezcal. Mezcal, it's a word that I was totally, totally for many years defending. It's not. It's not an. It's not. It's not a property, and it shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be restricted to use it. Mezcal is from Mexico, and mezcal is from the producers, not for only the producers that it's in the origin denomination. That's other thing that happens. The origin denominations, as Ana Valenzuela says, it's wrong applied in Mexico. It's really, really wrong applied, and it was born badly from the beginning in tequila. Went wrong because if you remember the origin denominations from tequila, they included 12 different varieties of agaves, and it was not only tequila area. It was different communities in Jalisco that were allowed to use different agaves to produce tequila. This mezcal or vino tequila or tequila or whatever. But they only let some areas of Jalisco to produce, and those areas were the only ones that were allowed to call it tequila. Later in the '94, if I don't make a mistake, probably I am. Uh, they expanded to other states, they expanded to other regions, and then uh, tequila started like the origin denomination. It was not regional, it was like for purposes of production, and that is the copy of the origin denomination that was given to the mezcal. Right now, there are some places, there are some states that they are asking to go inside of the mezcal because it's convenient. Right now, the market sell mezcal than tequila. It's more profitable. Profitable. Make it call it mezcal, like is the example of Sinaloa. There's a really good mezcales in Sinaloa. I'm not saying that it's that they don't have tradition. No. I'm not, I'm done with discussions. There's some good products in Sinaloa, but they don't have the access to the origin denominations because a lot of things that is happening, and probably because there's some people that is defending that they got to get a little bit more of historical proofs to allow them to go into our origin denomination. But what happens in Oaxaca? In Oaxaca, well, not all Oaxaca has the origin denomination of mezcal, and there's 7 different states that they got it, and it's gonna be another states in Mexico that it's gonna have this origin denomination. But I don't think that if you're not inside of the origin denomination, you're not able to use the word mezcal. Mezcal, it's a word that has tradition, that has history. It's the mix of the two cultures that were here in Mexico, and they call it this beverage that way. That it's metal, that it's cooked, and it's cali, that it's an underground. So the word is historical, huge, historical, strong, and has to be only for the people that can carry that flag or can carry that history. Those are the ones that can use mezcal. The destilados de agave, this is the other thing. There's a bunch of people that say, I don't want to call it mezcal. I prefer to call it destilado de agave because I don't want to be inside of the Consejo Regulador del Mezcal because it's really expensive. By the end, it doesn't. If your market is export, if your market is go into the best shelves in Mexico City or different big cities here in Mexico, if you pay these profits that they want, you get access to the mezcal. And actually, the Consejo is really accessible, and it's not the only one. There are options right now. It's if I'm not wrong, I think that there's 3 other options, right? Like
yes, but no.
Exactly.
There are other options, except everything's on hold right now as a lawsuit makes its way through the court system in Mexico. So it's
but I mean, by the end, they are not new. They are not. This is not something that it's. We just thought that we gotta be able to be and certified. This is not new. The things that is happening right now in with the Consejo Regulador and the other entities, it's because right now it's the political moment. Next year is the election of the Presidente del Consejo Regulador del Mezcal. And they don't want Hippocrates there. There's a lot of people that say, Hippocrates, the devil. By the end, Hippocrates opens the door to go around the world. And they got, and if your brand is there, it's because they work a lot. They do their homework for them. And that causes profits to them. Yes, of course. It's a business. What you were expecting?
I mean, this is It's always a
Probably I'm not good with him. I don't like him. I don't like the ways. But come on, the people that are exporting, we gotta, you gotta talk with the, I mean, with the people that sells a lot of mezcal. I mean, I don't think that the Ageo is gonna say, no, I don't want the hologram. I don't care.
yeah.
Of course that they want it and they pay for it.
I mean, it's always a case of nobody likes regulators, you
Mhm.
know. So it's no, you know, why would you like regulators? They take all the fun out of everything.
Exactly. And I mean,
You know,
the Consejo Regulador is not the police of the mezcal.
yeah,
Trust me, they are not. They got their own, they got their own they got the chain of things that happens that they want to be able to trace.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that's that's the tools that they got, and
yeah,
works for them, works. Hmm.
yeah. No, I mean, it's true. It's, you know, and it's like you know, it's the understanding of how the system works, where it's the Mexican government that owns the word mezcal.
Hmm.
The DO is dictated by the Mexican government,
Hmm.
and the CRM and any other certifiers out there are just
Hmm.
complying with that overall law,
Hmm.
you know, to do it. And that's kind of the, I think there are people outside of Mexico and maybe even still in Mexico that believe that the CRM is the one that's controlling everything around mezcal, and it's like,
No, it's
no,
not.
they're just, you know, they play a part in that. But I want to
They are the
give
biggest. They are the
yep.
first, and they are the biggest. But options, we got options.
As Gabrielle says, can we hear about the nom instead? um, the nom, for people who are listening who don't know, the nom is the specific regulation that guides the rules around mezcal. The latest regulatory law is called Nom 70, and it was adopted 3-4 years ago. I can't even remember.
The NOM is from
And
1997.
yeah, and it you know, it enabled the distinctions within mezcal of ancestral, artisanal, and mezcal, and the different production methods that, you know, are allowed in each of those categories, how
Hmm.
bottles can get labeled, like all of that.
Hmm.
But I want to open it up to other people to talk about or to ask questions for Leon. Like he's you know, he's captured attention. Anything you want to know, because from Leon, I know that I hit him up with some of the most. I mean, I'll just call them stupid questions because I knew absolutely nothing, you know. And I was like,
No, no, no.
I have this person in front of me who I can ask any question of. And then when I thought that I really knew stuff, he was very kind in correcting me on what I didn't actually know that I thought that I knew.
Hmm. I
But
think that there's different point of views, and there's different the different ways of seeing the things. The Consejo Regulador is there. If
mhm,
they are not happy with the people that is ruling it, there's the elections. Go.
uh,
If you're subscribed, go. If you don't like it, speak louder, yell it, say it, make the change, but a good change. Not only because you don't like that they got different things. I mean, that's the real that's the same thing that happens in Mexico elections from presidential guy that is right now. I mean, he's there because we voted against the others, not because we believe that he's God. I mean, it's not.
don't get into politics.
It's not politics. I mean,
Here in the
it's the same.
no, everything is political. Everything is here in the U.S. Tonight is
Uh-huh,
the start of the Republican National Convention,
uh-huh,
and you know, we'll see what comes out of that this evening as the speeches begin. But you know, if nobody has any questions, oh wait, here we go. Would love to hear about your current and especially future projects. What have you got? What have you got in the works, Leon? In addition to doing, you know, tours out
I'm
to?
working. I'm working in a different areas. Right now, I'm working with in my project, my personal project, that it's Leon Mezcal. I'm starting to run with this thing. I wanna use my image and to get to the more people possible. So with my cousin, we create some TV shows from in YouTube that it's called Un Mezcalito. It's a question, and we speak with different people. Different. There's we're not including. We're not excluded anybody. We're gonna talk with everybody, and in the during the talk, we're gonna be drinking mezcal, of course. And
So,
that's cheers. That's un mezcalito. And there's also these different these different projects that I'm making with Leon Mezcal. I will try to get some tastings and in different hotels and different places. I'm not that good with technology, but probably I will make virtual tastings later. And I'm working with labels and brands, mezcal brands, and to make like I want to make videos of experiences because sometimes there's a lot of talks and different unique moments that I used to have with the producers in the palenques or with them talking with them that get lost in that speech. I would like to not to recreate it, but I would like to uh, post it on video.
mhm.
Go inside with them and talk and try to get the most historical thing or kindness or warm from their hearts and them from the product that they made and put it into access to all the people. So I'm the figure that is going to be in the videos because I know them because I'm it happens to I'm there, not because I wanted to be there because it happens to be that I'm there, and it's that's Leon Mezcal. I'm
Yeah.
also I'm also working with I'm promoting myself to work with different people that wants to go to join me to share their own things like their projects that they got. So mix it with the mezcal tastings and there's also working with different people that wants to make mezcal. I mean, there since I've been in the air, putting some pictures of where I go and what I do and whom I met, there's some people that get closer and say like, oh, well, I wanna let you taste this or I wanna come here. So that's the things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to the brands get involved. I need a bunch of sponsors. I need it because all this process costs like making the video, the
Mm.
translate there, and all the stuff that cost money. And for the interviews that I will make also with the people, I will love to have mezcales that it's been there for taste for the different people that I want to meet or talk with. And I
Well,
got also this page and this project that it's with Edgar Leon that it's called Mezcal Custom Tours. It's stopped right now.
mm,
I don't know the future. I hope that we can uh, start it again. This thing, all of this because of the pandemic. Uh, there's not a lot of tourists or people that it's aware to spend money in those kind of things. I think that they want to spend their money in different things, and it's totally understandable. But Mezcal Custom Tours, it's that's the platform from where I we take the people to the palenques and try to create an experience and recreate that, I think. I mean, if these things doesn't pass or is not working anymore, I will stop, but I will tell you that Leon Mezcal is the, right now, Leon Mezcal is the most important thing that I want to do. And I want to focus on that. And I want to focus on that stuff. Yeah.
That's great. Danny has a question
Yeah.
about, what some of the barriers to entry are to opening a mezcal-oriented bar or tasting room in Oaxaca. Like, what are some of the things that would make it hard to do that, to open a mezcaleria in Oaxaca?
Well, it's not that hard. By the end, you got to get a license. From the license could be to sell alcohol. It's okay. There's no regulation actually. This is insane. There's not a regulation for a mezcaleria, as if there's a license that it's called Expendio de Mezcal, with recuerdos or artesanies, and that's it. So you cannot sell mezcal to the people in glass. It's not allowed. So the other license, it's only to restaurant bar as if, and cantina, I think, and other stuff. But it's not a regulation about the mezcaleria. Actually, we can try to do. We tried to do it. Guillermo and his team and I, with this guy Luis Ugardechea. He was the president, the municipal president in Oaxaca. We talked with him, but something happened that totally got lost. But yes, I really tried to do that. Like say, well, this is a project that it's cultural. It's way cultural charge, and it's a tasting room. It's gonna be only the sip of the mezcales, and the thing is that you buy the bottle. The most I think that the hardest thing that you will find is that you got to get mezcales that it's if not certified for the Consejo Regulador, that it's with the NOM 199, that it's destilado de agave.
Yeah.
So you got to pay taxes.
That's always the
everybody gets to pay taxes. So that's the hardest thing, because I mean your profits is going to be lower if you try to sell the mezcal cheap. So you got to recreate. So this is why I gotta recognize Felix Monterrosa from Quish. They are totally all the time. They are renewing their project. This guy from Archivo Maguey, Jesus Espina, he's always making new stuffs, and he has crazy ideas and all that stuff. But by the end, if you wanna live from this, I mean, Mezcaloteca. Mezcaloteca is another incredible place, beautiful as hell, and unique mezcales. And you gotta make an appointment to go there. And I think that's the best way. If that's what you want to do, you got to do it like that. Ulises Torrentera. I mean, come on, it's beautiful. And he attends. He provides you the mezcales. He runs sometimes the tasting. So it's so cool. I mean, those places we gotta encourage them. I mean, working with Ulises, spend a little bit time in the mezcaleria with Ulises is the most beautiful place and the most beautiful time that you will spend in Oaxaca if you want to know about mezcal. Trust me, that's it. And but it's not that hard to open the place. I mean, probably you gotta find somebody that wants to speak, have a little bit of relation with the audience or the other people that you get. That's what I want to do. I mean, I don't have a place, so I'm gonna be wherever I can get.
You could be the guy leading different people on private mezcaleria tours.
I would love to
different places.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to. That actually, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's it in terms of the questions. And, so I just want to say thank you so much again for making the
Thank you,
time to
Suzanne.
talk to us. Greatly
Thank you.
appreciate. I love the fact that, things that began as a friendship have
Uh-huh.
evolved in the way that they have. Who would have known all those years ago that we'd be sitting here on a computer talking about mezcal? It's
And drink
been
it also.
and drinking also. Well, that's not a surprise. But but no, thank you so much. And I
Thank
will
you.
have the recorded link for this talk and all of the other talks available this week.
Thank
And
you.
then we'll be putting out our schedule for September,
Okay.
also in our newsletter this week. And we'll be launching a new website this week. So be sure to hit me up with all of the terrible things that you hate about it and all the problems, because we all know that's what happens with new websites. Thank you all for joining in for Conversations in Agave. And Leon, stay healthy and safe.
Thank you. You too.
And
Please stay safe.
can't wait to see you in Oaxaca.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope
All right.
it's gonna be really, 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 really near.
Yeah, me
In close
too.
time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Bye. No.
Bye bye.